It's not by chance. You've decided. And we say that every time people gather, I can't get to their gathering just because. It's that God has a reason for the same. So you're not here just because. You're here because God has a reason for you to be here. And I know that you're going to get impacted by today's discussion. My name is Rachel Kahugu. We're going to be here up to 10 in the AM. And I know that by the time tunafika 10, utakuwa umelan a thing or two. And this is where I ask you to call in other people and to send in the links as much as you can, because I know that you will be blessed and impacted by today's discussion. All right? Now, our numbers are very open. That is 0721105105 on WhatsApp, 23814. Our SMS code, which is absolutely free of charge. We're live on Facebook on MBCI TV Facebook page. We're live on YouTube on MBCI TV official YouTube page. And on all those social media pages, we'll be able to get your feedback. But of course, on all social media pages, Rachel Kahugu, ukienda pale pia nitaweza kusikia kutoka kwako and just to hear what you'd love to tell us. Unatusikiza ama unatuwatch kutoka wapi? Unatuwatch na kina nani? What are you thanking God for? How has your week been? We'd love to hear from you. Today we are having a woman of God. And she's also a nurse. And she's a loving mother of 4 amazing kids. I will do the intro vizuri sana before we get there. But for now, I'd want for us to get the history of what you're talking about today. Okay? Today we're talking about depression. Now, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And under mental health, we have so many things. We talk about anxiety. We talk about depression. We talk about so many things. But today we're talking specifically about depression. But this is very unique because we're talking about depression and the people with disability, or as we love to say, people who are abled differently. Is there any relation? Mtu mwenye ako disabled ama ako abled differently, are they in a high risk of getting depression? Is it a predisposing factor? What are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to handle people with disability? And you have the right person to talk about that. But before we introduce to you who will be talking about the same, we'd love for you to just get the history behind that. Depression and people with disability. So we're getting the in history segment and then we'll be coming right back.
Throughout history, the experiences of people with disabilities and those facing depression have often been misunderstood and stigmatized. In ancient cultures, such conditions were frequently linked to supernatural forces, viewed as punishments from the gods or signs of possession. In ancient Greece, for example, individuals with physical disabilities might be seen as spiritually significant or, on the other hand, shunned as cursed. Mental health conditions like what we now call depression were labeled melancholia and believed to stem from imbalances in bodily fluids. Treatment ranged from philosophical discussions with thinkers like Socrates to more extreme rituals aimed at driving out evil. These early beliefs laid a foundation that would continue to misrepresent and marginalize those disabilities and mental health challenges for centuries. During the Middle Ages and into the early modern era, progress remained slow. People with disabilities, physical or mental, were often placed in asylums or almshouses, isolated from society in often appalling conditions. Depression, still known as melancholia, was occasionally idealized in art and literature as a symbol of depth or genius, but in reality, those suffering were met with ineffective and sometimes harmful treatments like bloodletting. The Enlightenment brought new voices into the conversation, with philosophers like John Locke promoting more humane views of mental illnesses. Still, for most people, societal attitudes stayed the same. Those with disabilities or depression continued to live on the margins, often without support or understanding. Real change began to take shape in the 19th and 20th centuries thanks to both medical breakthroughs and social activism. Psychiatry emerged as a field and depression started to be recognized as a condition that could be treated, especially with the introduction of antidepressants in the 1950s. Meanwhile, the disability rights movement gained strength, particularly after the World Wars, as veterans with lasting injuries called for greater accessibilities and equality. Legislation like the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990 marked a turning point, aiming to remove barriers and promote inclusion.
Yeah. All right. We're back and we're here with Rev. And I know that you've been able to, see what we are doing today and the history behind depression and disability and how they're related. And we'll be getting into more of that. Just to remind you, or to let you know if you're just joining us, is that our numbers are very open and we're ready to hear from you. That is 0721 105 105 on WhatsApp, 23814, our SMS code, which is absolutely free of charge. We're live on Facebook on MBCI TV Facebook page. We're live on YouTube on MBCI TV official YouTube page. On all those social media pages, we'll be able to get what you're saying and to hear from you, which will be really nice. So tuambie unatusikiza kutoka wapi, unashukuru Mungu kwa sababu ya nini for the last 1 week from Wednesday. It's been for some a heavy week, for some an easy week, for some a blessed week. So we'd love to hear from you. But also today is that we are talking about depression, we're talking about disability. And it's amazing because I met a friend of mine yesterday and we're talking about depression, and I said, this is the right time. When God also wants you to talk about something, or it's the season for that particular thing, unajuanga tu when things align. So if you're there, you'd want to talk about these. If you feel labda umefika mahali, and it's like you're depressed, and sometimes you don't even know you are. So talk out na uncover your maneno yote. If you have any question, this is home. This is where you ask about the same. Okay? For now, I'd want for you to know who we are having, because she wears so many hats, okay? Amazing, beautiful hats with honor. Amazing. So I'd want for you to just understand who we're having on set. Alafu tutakuwa tukiingia ndani ya the topic of discussion.
From humble beginnings to becoming a voice of influence, today we host a woman whose life is a powerful blend of faith, compassion, and service. She is a nurse by profession and a minister by calling, dedicated to heal both your body and soul. Rev Patricia Benson is a co-leader of Chosen Generation Church in Nakuru, where she serves alongside her husband, Bishop Ben Nganga, while raising a beautiful family of 4 children. She wears many hats with grace, the founder of Better You Foundation, where she passionately advocates for persons with disabilities, and the director for Better You School, a learning institution shaping the next generation. And through the Lord's Store, she uplifts widows, the elderly, and young girls with food and dignity packages. As a director of Mamlaka TV, she uses media to inspire hope, restore families, and spread the gospel. And as a patron of Hebrew Women, an interdenominational ministry, she empowers women of all backgrounds to rise, healed, bold, and purposeful. Her story is one of resilience, transformation, and undeniable impact. Please help me welcome to Afya Clinic, Rev Patricia Benson, a mother, a minister, humanitarian, and a true vessel of healing and hope.
All right, we are back, and today, as you've seen, we are having Reverend Patricia. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm well.
You look amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You
Thank
as
you so much
well.
for
I think
coming.
it's a beautiful morning as
Yeah,
well.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming.
Asante.
We're excited to have you on set.
I'm
It's been a
humbled.
minute.
Oh, I know
You're
it.
kwa kitambo. Should be like last year, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think
Happy
last
New
year.
Year.
This is already a new year.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm
Happy
well.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
And it's May.
To some happy getting old. Yeah.
Yeah, getting well, dear.
Yeah,
You've
I'm
been well?
well. I'm well. I thank God,
Amazing.
and thank you for having me. I'm very humbled to be here this morning.
Asante sana.
Yes.
Amazing. Please say hi to the people. That's your camera. Then you
Oh.
can get started.
Hi viewers, thank you so much for tuning into our Afya Clinic program this morning. Please don't change that dial, because I know that you're going to be blessed. And my name is Rev Patricia Benson. Thank you.
Amazing.
Yes.
You know, we talk about Rev,
Yes.
and many people would say you're a reverend, you're doing so much as a reverend, but also you're a nurse.
Yes.
Let's start from there. Just give us a little bit of a background
Yes.
of Rev Patricia as a nurse.
Oh,
Yeah.
now Rev Patricia is a registered nurse in Kenya. Even if people see me preaching, I have all the
Yeah.
license to work anywhere in the country and
Yeah.
even out of the country. And I trained in Nairobi back back some years back, and I thank God that I qualified. Nursing is not easy course, by the way, Rachel. You know, people feel here, nurses, they feel it's just like an easy course that you just go to school and come back with a certificate. But even in nursing school, people start, but when you're graduating, you're just a few, because people cannot withstand the experience. So I thank God that I did nursing as also my dream career as I was a girl. Since I was a girl, I used to say I would want to become a nurse. You know, the way people ask, when children ask, what would you want to become when you grow up? I used to say I would just want to become a nurse, and I really thank God that God made it come to pass. You know, thank you.
How has been the experience as a nurse?
The experience as a nurse is a good experience. It's also a very challenging. It's also a very challenging career as well. But it's a very good career. I think what I feel about nursing is like a calling. You can't work as a nurse if you don't have a big heart. If you don't have a heart to care, if you're a person that really looks just for money, if you want to make just good money, maybe you may not feel nursing is a good cause, because nursing really entails a lot of emotions, a lot of things, you know. So it needs somebody that can really stretch themselves to a way that they can handle all the situations that comes. And working, for example, in health industry, it's a very dynamic place. You may find yourself working in a place that, you know, people are dying a lot. You may work in a place that mothers are giving birth. You know, you're working in a place that people are coming with accidents and, you know, injuries. So I know
it needs a lot of grace.
It needs a lot of grace. So you may find yourself at a place that you had never thought in this life there is such kind of a thing. You can work in a psychiatric hospital. You know, you can work in a newborn unit. So it entails a lot of emotions and a lot of adjustments and flexibility, even as a human being.
Okay. Maybe not to digress. But what's the most traumatic experience you've seen as a nurse?
One of the most traumatic experience. Oh my goodness, I don't know whether this will make people scared, but it's an experience that one time I worked in a theater as a theater nurse, and a man came. He was looking okay. He was just walking. Though when you are working in a theater, people are brought in a stretcher. So a man was brought, and he was on a stretcher, and I remember even his name, if I can say his name. Though I had met him in the ward when I was, you know, we sometimes you can rotate. You can work in a ward, and then like 2 months after you're working in a theater. So I had met him in the ward, and he was doing very well. Then I see him in the theater. I ask him, "What have you come for?" And then I check his file, and I see he has come for an amputation, the upper foot amputation. And I was like, my goodness, you know, I remember his feet. He had very good toes. You know you can look at the feet and you're like, you are going to get rid of such a beautiful leg. You know. So and the surgeon was like, we have to prepare this person because we have to remove this leg. And now I was asking him, how do you feel about now what you're just going through? And he was like, Patricia, myself getting in this theater, first of all, it's a miracle, because I've wanted a slot to be in theater to remove this leg, because the more it stays with me, the more it's eating me, and it may kill me anytime. So for me, Patricia, don't have mercy upon me. I'm okay. So when we cut his leg and I saw the amputation and the man has woken up with one leg, I was like, what? In a span of 1 hour, you are walking with your 2 feet. And in a few minutes, you are just, you know, and I was just imagining he'll never see his leg again. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is so traumatizing.
No, let me ask, because today we're talking about depression. So for nurses, because I know there are also nurses who are watching us, so people who would want to get into the medical career. What would you do just to make sure that your mental state equals out?
Wow. That's a very good question, because a lot of medical personnel, people that are working in hospitals and nurses, they are in depression, but they don't know. Until they reach to a point, they feel this is not, it's like a traumatizing career, and they feel as if they are not doing things the right way, because there are things that you cannot avoid. You know, you'll find cases of people that have come to the hospital at the end stage of a disease, and you have tried all you can. You have given that patient medication. You have tried to feed that patient. You have put him whatever they need for them to survive. And then within a few minutes, you're back and you're like, what? That person has gone. You feel like maybe you are the one that has made a mistake, or there is a procedure that you did not do it well. And you feel that guilt. You carry that guilt of that death, or maybe something that has happened. And so most nurses are in depression, and also they take that depression back to their children and their husbands, or if they are men, they take it to their wives. And sometimes you feel like you want to share that story with people. But most people keep to themselves because not many people like to hear those horrifying stories about it.
Me included. Don't tell me about it.
I know.
Most of the time, but now maybe we are all opening up to hearing more about it.
Yeah. So in fact, there's somebody that said one time, one of the strongest men that can marry are the men that marry nurses. Yeah, because they go through a lot. Because their wives come with so many stories. Some that are very interesting, some are very traumatizing. And what I can say about anyone that is a medical personnel, let them have make sure, get to know that they are not they should not blame themselves for anything that happens. Because most of them, that's what they feel. The guilt. You feel like maybe if I could have added some more dosage on that medication, maybe that person could have existed. You live with that thing for like another 3 months. So when you see another patient that has some symptoms that looks like the other one that died, you're like, oh my goodness, this one we're also losing him. And you start feeling as if you are not a good nurse. But I just want this morning, I wish people could know the sacrifices that nurses make. They are so major. They are so major. Like for example, let me tell you something, Rachel. A doctor comes and writes medication that this person needs. This person needs to go to theater. This person needs to go and see a certain surgeon. This person needs an MRI or an X-ray. Do you know the doctor will just note it down and leave it to the desk? From there, the nurse is to pick up. He comes tomorrow. He wants to see an X-ray result. He wants to see the result for MRI. He wants to see whether that person was transfused. That the nurses want to transfuse that blood. The medication he said that should be given, has it been given? What is the response? How, so the nurses do a lot, but people don't notice it, and people don't even realize it, because most patients, maybe they don't even realize what is happening to them. But I just want to know that that's why most of the nurses are in a crisis of depression. And also, like in Kenya, you find that we have a big workload. Our hospitals are full of very sickly people. Like I've worked in hospitals in abroad. You find hospitals abroad, then the patients may be few. Everybody's in a room. They are like, even they are not like sick. You wonder, this person is admitted and he's just taking a cup of coffee and just having a good life. And the wife is there sleeping next to him in a couch that is next to the bed. But not here, like here in Kenya. You find maybe some of us, the way sometimes we see patients lying on the floor, you see mothers delivering in not the best places you'd want to. It also disturbs us. And that is why my desire is to pray that after every 10 or less than 10 kilometers, there is a big hospital. A hospital that has a maternity, a hospital that has a orthopedic place, a hospital that is equipped with enough nurses for that place. Yes.
Oh, yeah. That would be good. Amen. May that happen.
It will be so in Jesus'
You're in the government and you're hearing this. Maybe this is a call for you to, just make it happen in your place of authority. Okay? And if you're a nurse and you're there, maybe you can share with us your experience. Because we've said that sometimes you might be in depression and you don't even know.
You don't know.
So this is a safe space to share your experiences. We'll read and we'll talk about it, and that would be nice. Now, today we're talking about disability. We're talking about depression. First of all, before we even talk about Better You, which is really beautiful, let's talk about Izimbili, related Adri.
Izimbili, they are intertwined, because there are people that are the depression they have made them disabled. They are in a place.
Wait, depression would lead to disability?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Depression can lead to disability, because a lot of people, when they are depressed, they are like, wamekaa mahali, they are not able to do much. Mtu ambaye ako na potential kubwa, they are not able to portray. Unakuta mtu ako na a very sweet personality, imeisha, amekuwa mtu pengine very different. Imefanya mtu alikuwa pengine na big ambitions, ameachana nazo. Mtu alikuwa pengine anasoma, ameshindwa pengine. Unakuta watu hao, in a way, it's also becoming a form of disability. They are so crippled in life because of that depression state. And also disability also people that are that have any form of disability, they are also very vulnerable to become very depressed.
Okay.
And that is why, because disability entails a lot. And that is why you find that a lot of people with disability and families of persons that are living with disability, they may find themselves in one way or another fighting as a form of depression without them knowing. Yes.
Okay. When you talk about disability, what are you talking about? Like what is disability?
What is disability?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, disability is anyone that has not been able to achieve, whether age, I mean, anyone that has not been able to achieve a certain thing that the status is supposed, according to the status and age, they are supposed to be doing normally.
Okay.
With the, like for example, the basic life support, the basic things that a person should do, unakuta mtu huyu hafanyi vile anafaa kufanya, na ni mtu ako na afya, ni mtu ako na miaka inafaa awe anafanya vitu kama hizo according to their age, but they are not able to do. They have 2 or 3 things that they have not been able to achieve. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know
so
if
it doesn't
I've
have to
explained
be
well.
physical.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be physical.
It doesn't have to be physical.
Yeah.
Like, for example, a person who is 5 years old, a child who is 5 years old, there is a way development milestone of that person should be. There are things that they're supposed to be doing at 5 years. But if they are not doing them at 5 years, there are things that they are not doing properly like a normal person.
Yeah.
It shows that they have a disability.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Because most of the time we talk about disability and we think about physical.
Thank
like
you.
Someone who cannot talk, someone who's not able to walk.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Now,
Do you know, according to the research, it has shown that there are now 21 forms of disability. You know, people usually know the 4, the physical, the visual, you know, the hearing impaired, you know, but now there are so many.
Yeah.
There are so many of them, yes.
okay. Now, we've mentioned, and maybe this would not to digress again.
Yes.
But you've mentioned, kuna mtu anaweza kuwa yuko disabled
Yes.
because of depression, and you might not even really know it.
Yes.
So what would this look like?
When you are, there's like, yes, that's a very good question. Because people don't know when depression is coming in, is creeping in.
Yeah.
And depression, I can say, it's a very silent thing. It comes without you knowing what is happening. Because the signs appears as if it's something that maybe you woke up on a bad day. Because one of the signs you'll find...
that is the main point there.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we say, today is just a bad day.
I know.
Yeah.
You know, without knowing that it may become a journey to a very big battle of depression. And one of it may be just as simple as lack of appetite or changes in appetite. Unakuta mtu ameamka anakula in a way hakuwa anakula before. Anakula maybe sana.
Yeah.
You know, you eat too much. You know, a meal that kitambo you never used to.
Yeah.
You know, ama unakuta umepunguza appetite. You don't want to eat much. You're just eating little food. And you say you're okay, and people feel maybe I'm okay. In fact, it's better than because I'm not eating much. I'm doing okay. Others are mood swings. You find somebody you know, you get triggered by anger by small things. You know, unakuwa na temper. You know, the other things include things like isolation. Unakuta mtu hataki mambo ya watu, hapigi simu, hachukui simu za watu. You don't want to go to activities, to do any activity. Some people feel they don't want even to associate with other people. Other people, depression also ina manifest pia kwa kukuta watu wengi hawana psyche ya life. Unakuta people are just, you don't have anything that you lose the taste of life. Unasikia tu uko tu, una exist. And also it ends up, most of the people ikienda sana sasa wanaanza kuingiwa na suicidal thoughts. You find that you just want to die. You just feel like if there is a simple way you can be able to eliminate yourself, you can do it. So, and a lot of suicidal thoughts are out of depression. The cases you have been seeing lately of people killing themselves from up in the building, others are crossing the road when they know they'll be hit by a vehicle. It's not normal. You know, it's a form of depression. Other people, the way they have been, unakuta, the way some people behave, unakuta mtu mwingine akona a spirit that they are not patient. They don't want to listen. Kama wamama, unakuta mtu anachapa mtoto, kama kosa mtoto amefanya kidogo, it goes to, you know, and without knowing that these are people that are, you know, they are starting to fight a monster ambayo inaitwa depression. Na inaanzaga tu pole pole, it looks harmless, but at the end unakuta imekuwa a condition. Yes.
Maybe What are, because now you've dealt with especially people with disability,
Yeah.
and families that are living with people with disability.
Yes.
So that would be one of the causes. But what would you say are some of the causes of depression? Nini ndio inakuanga root cause ya depression mostly?
Kwa hiyo, especially kwa hao watu.
Yeah.
What I can say, they have been finding the research and they've been saying that people that have like a form of disability are 2-3 times highly likely to get depression than a normal person.
Why is that?
Because now the disability itself, I know you know what disability entails, especially the people with physical disability. Like for example, you find that there are people that maybe they were just okay one time at some point, and then at some point they lose a part of their hand, of their feet, or they lose something, and they are termed as disabled people, as somebody that is living with a disability. And you find that maybe that person was like, for example, in high school, and you have gotten an accident, you have gotten a motorbike accident, for example. You know, from there you'll not be able maybe to continue the education. From there, after there, like I know of cases, I've met cases of people that got an accident when they were young, like when they were still in high school. And you find that those people, from there, everything changes. They will not be able to continue maybe the education. They will start walking maybe on a wheelchair. Na unakuta watu hao kukua kwa hiyo kushindwa kusoma, kuona ya kwamba maisha yao imesimamishwa, they are not able to continue the education. It provokes depression. Other people unakuta hivyo kutumia wheelchair, kuona hiyo venye ameanza kusurvive on depending on that seat or a clutch or clutches, by itself also depresses them a lot. Because you can't imagine mtu alikuwa kwa sawa, sasa ataishi akitembea na hiyo miti. Your life is dependent on those two seats or just one that seat. You know, imagining that will be your next life for the next many days. If you're not prepared psychologically enough, you'll find that becoming a big challenge. Other people start feeling they don't want to become burden to people. Because a lot of people feel, I don't want to be sending people to bring these things. I feel I don't want to burden people. And that itself makes you feel very bad. Other people, maybe they feel they don't want to become, you know, they are putting their family at a financial crisis. Kwa sababu unakuta pengine mtu anavalishwa diapers, unaangalia mamako vile umaskini ile iko huko, hata unga hakuna. Sasa unaanza kufikiria, I'm the one to be asking for diapers, or you know, and that itself depresses a person. You know, they may not say it, waseme, hey, mimi nasikia nikiwa na stress at hivyo, but with the time, that environment can make a person to be very, very depressed. And that is why, and so many other causes that makes people, you know, unakuta wengine wame change their personality. Like for example, mtu alikuwa outgoing, when mtu yule, you know, like I know of a case of a person that is really good he was very good in sports. Alikuwa anapiga football, anajulikana the whole village that he's a very good footballer. The moment he got an accident and started walking on a wheelchair, you know, he couldn't have imagined somebody that could be going to nations, all that have stopped. His ambition to become a great footballer in Kenya, ilishia hapo because of that disability. So most of these people, even if they may not say it, or if maybe they may look as if they are okay, sometimes they feel life is not fair. You know,
life has changed.
Life has changed. Life has changed. And also the reason even so many again feel they are getting stressed is because also they feel the perception they are getting towards people. You know, there are people that will look at a person and they are like, wewe ulipata accident nini? Siku hizi unatembea na miti.
Kwanza we need to talk about how people should
the stigma and the discrimination,
and how to even address these people, how to talk to them, what to say, what not to say, how to say stuff. Because as a community, we need to do better. But let's use this particular example that you've given us. For someone who was very active, playing football, doing all that, and all of a sudden, they now can't do all that. And they have an option. They can't, they have nothing to do about it. So how would this person avoid getting into depression?
Thank you. That's a very good question. It's a good case study. Because now this is a young man, and within a short time a lot has happened. That will depend, one thing that person can do, first of all, is first to accept. Because a lot of people are in denial.
How do you get into the acceptance part? Because sometimes we say it,
Yes.
but just getting there
Yeah,
is the problem.
it's tricky. And like, for example, I've given you a case of that traumatizing case I got of that man that found me in the theater.
Yeah.
And he was like, Patricia, I'm very excited to have gotten an opportunity to be done this amputation. And I was like, what? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wacha hii mguu niondokee, at least niweze kusurvive. Do you know that man, even after he came out of the theater, alikuwa anasema, hiyo mguu hata mimi sitaki, mimi hata afadhali nitembee hivyo, hiyo ndio ilikuwa imebeba mashida yangu, hiyo ndio ilikuwa, and I found that I couldn't imagine somebody can talk like that. Sasa ile mimi ninamhurumia, nimwangalia nasema, he's like, usinihurumie. So and I noted not many people are able to reach to that point. And anytime, even most people get into accident, they don't get to realize that from there are things that will not become normal.
Yeah.
I usually sometimes I've worked, I told you I've always been a woman of God, even as a nurse. So I remember one time I got a patient that came that was sick and got a form of disability. No, she got a child that had a disability. And the mother was like, Patricia, as long as you're the one that has helped me deliver this child, I know this child is not a disabled person because I know you're a woman of God. This person I know, this child I know. Do you know the doctor could write, take this child to the pediatric, to the pediatrician? And she's like, no, I don't want to go to, because I know that the woman of God, my pastor, has prayed. You see, you
That's
find that
it's
a denial, and it's not a. And it's not a good way because there is a part for, there are things that you need to accept and also there are things that as you wait for God to do a miracle. Yes. So one of the things that I believe a person should do first is to first being ready for the worst that you feel is around, is you live for. Like, for example, if you have lost your limb, just know that, just see how you can be able now to adjust your life the way you are and how you are going to make your life simple and to know that you may not find yourself walking again. You get it? I know it sounds sometimes harsh when you tell somebody like that. Because always we believe that, I know there are miracles that happen, but before that miracle happen, just get to accept that this is how you shall live. The other thing, because another cause for depression in people with disability is because of financial constraint. You find that they are getting, because they are not able to get employment like a normal person. You find that most of them are very, they are not able to do a match. Unakuta mtu alikuwa na pesa zimeisha, haizi ajiriwa kazi, alikuwa analipwa pesa nyingi, they cannot work in such a company, they are not hired easily, they can't do any work. So you find that some of them have, they are going through a lot of financial constraint. So a person like that man that I was talking about, that was crippled by his state, one of the things is to accept that he has to adjust his way of living. The other thing is to see how they can be able to acquire a skill in the comfort of where they are. I've noted I think it's out of experience, I've noted that a lot of people that are living with disability, especially them that maybe were not exposed to education, because also disability also has, it has a relationship with illiteracy. You find that because most people with depression are not able to continue the normal education, or even if some continue, unakuta wameenda shule wakiwa wamezeeka, because of the stigma ya kuambia wewe uko form 2 na uko na miaka 20 utafanya nini class 8, but they don't want to know the story of where this person was akiwa form 2, amesema akiwa na 20 years akiwa form 2, si kutaka kwake, pengine miaka 4 ilipotea kwa sababu ya medication na hiyo kutibu hiyo. So unakuta wengi, because of that stigma in school, they didn't go to school. So that illiteracy, unakuta they may not be able to acquire a status that can make them get a good job out here. But myself, what I can say, even if they may not be attaining that status ya masomo, they can acquire a skill. They can have their own businesses. They can, as they wait for other job opportunity to appear, let them be empowered by themselves, that in case they cannot sleep hungry. And that is why, like, for example, myself, I believe in acquiring a skill. Even if you don't have any disability, having a skill that you can do with your hands in the comfort of where you are, that you're working with it, you don't need any equipment to survive, that also helps a lot.
That's a a very important point.
Yes.
That just by your hands, you don't need any equipment.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's something people should look into. Myself included.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like that's something we should look into.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're talking about people with disability, but also how that's related to depression.
Yeah.
And I know we're supposed to look into some of the videos. We interviewed some people just to hear about what they know about the same and what's their perception on people with disability and depression.
Wow.
So we'll be looking at the vox pops, but as we come back, we'll be telling you about a foundation called Better You Foundation that's looking into also helping these people. And I absolutely love how, Rev, you've brought in nursing.
Yes.
And, you know, ministry pamoja.
Yeah.
I know you're helping people. You're bringing in your nursing experience as a ministry as well. Yeah. And that is what we'll be talking about as we talk about Better You Foundation. But for now, let's get the vox pops so that we'll hear about what you said about depression and disability.
Yeah, ina cause depression kwa sababu ukifikiria mambo ya especially finances ina affect families sana. Na niko na marafiki wengi sana ambao like kadhaa ambao kuna watoto disabled na nimeona challenges zenye wanapitia especially financially kwa sababu hao watoto wanahitaji like therapies. Sasa wakipelekwa hospitali hiyo ni pesa na maybe mtu hata hana means, lazima you take a cab. So unaona kama mtu hayuko hana a good support system anaweza kuwa depressed. Na because inaweza, I think hata hiyo pia inaweza contribute na issues za mental health, because inaweza affect watu na sio hao peke yao, hata wale wenye wako karibu, tuseme the closest family members inawa affect pia. So inaweza affect na inaweza cause depression. Yeah. So wanahitaji kukuwa supported by all means. Yeah. Wenye wako karibu nao, majirani, family members, they should really support them. Yeah.
In a way that disability yenyewe ni kikwazo kwa mwanadamu, kwa sababu umeamka asubuhi, you don't have someone to assist you, unataka kufanyiwa kazi, hakuna mtu wa kukusaidia. Maybe unataka kuweka biashara, tuseme la kama mama mboga. Umepata customer anataka kukatakatiwa mboga. In that process, kumbe yule customer hakuwa amekuunderstand, maybe hauna mkono ama hauna mguu, na yeye ana demand umkatie mboga. Sasa utakuta huyo customer atakosa kukununulia kwa sababu amekosa hiyo service ya kukatakatiwa mboga, ama umeshindwa kuamka uende umpatilie mboga. That is how I understand. Then ina cause trauma in mind. Unakuta most of your family wanakureject. Hiyo rejection ina cause depression. In a way that hakuna mtu anakuunderstand, hakuna mtu akukutekea in your life. Unakuta umegonjeka depression, you end up dying.
Ukiwa na familia wenye yani unategemea marafiki nao wengine, lakini itafika at a point yenye saa wanaona wamelini sana, wamefanya sana mpaka saa wanachoka. Sasa the moment patient ameona saa kila mtu anataka kutoka, wanamwacha peke yake, huyu patient sasa anaanza kukua na hiyo ana matumaini yake inaisha. Sasa the moment anaendelea kukua hivyo, si ugonjwa inaongezeka.
Yeah, mimi naona ni kama inasababisha mentally, kwa sababu mtu akionekana ni kama uko na kashida, uko na disability kwa mwili yako, so hata kutokezea kwa watu hiyo kitu itakuwa inakupatia hard time. Hiyo sasa ukikata penye umekaa ku overthink mara mingi inaweza cause depression.
I absolutely love what the first lady has talked about, what she said about finances and how people with disability, you know, especially people with kids who are disabled, they need to take their kids for therapy sessions. They need to take their kids to hospital and stuff like that. Na amesema we need to support them as much as we can.
Yes.
Now, As you talk about the support, let's talk about Better You Foundation.
Yes.
What is Better You Foundation?
Oh my,
and
thank
why
you.
the name Better You?
Oh,
You know.
Oh my goodness, thank you for asking. Better You Foundation, as the name says, Better You, we are an organization that believes that when we come across somebody that may be living with disability, we leave them better than the way they were. In fact, our slogan is unveiling a better you. You know, there is a veil that has made you not to appear as if you're good, but Better You Foundation, we believe that we unveil that and you become a better person. And Better You Foundation is an organization that we have been working here in Nakuru and out of Nakuru. And our target group are people especially that are living with disability and families of people that are living with disability. Just even as you said about the First Lady that has talked about you know, the mothers and fathers of children that are living with disability. You know, those are the families we go to, and also people that are in disability, whichever form of disability, physical, mental, you know, visually impaired, hearing impaired, all kinds of disability. And by the grace of God, as I said, I'm a nurse by profession. We are also advocates for people with living with disability. And also we advocate for good health for people living with disability. We have talked about depression depression in people with disability, because mental health is also very important, and not many people are able to deal with that such a group of people. They are not able to differentiate when they are sick and when they are not. You know, they find they just see them and they are like, they misunderstand them. You know, they think maybe they have work on attitude. You know, wengine wanafikiria wako na. And some of them is because they have a challenge they are fighting, but they cannot open up to anyone. They cannot open up to anyone. So Better You Foundation was founded with a mission to reach out to them. We get to walk a journey with them where we can. Because some of these things that brings even depression to these people are things that can be managed. They can be helped. And that is why, like Better You Foundation, we have been doing a lot of free medical camps. And even our medical clinics that we do everywhere in Kenya, we usually have a table, Rachel, that we usually have a psychological counselors. We come with about 7 of them, as even they are getting treated for hypertension, diabetes, cancers, all kinds of cancers. We usually have psychological counselors that come. They come and just pour their hearts. They speak, you know, and they are counseled and they are walked a journey with by our counselors, and it has really helped them. The reason, allow me also to say, some of them, the reason we normally say, why are we not seeing people with disability in our churches? It's not that they hate God. They don't even hate churches. They don't hate God. It's because the environment is not conducive even to bring these people to church. And you know, our church is a place that you can be, you know, our church is a place that even if you're depressed when you go to church, there is a way that you find yourself, you know, the environment of being in church also helps. So you find that some of them are in depression because they're not able to access churches, they're not able to access social places. And you find that as a community, there are things we can do to help these people to be able to do those things well. So Better You Foundation, we believe in advocating for their rights as well. And also encouraging and also making sure that they are noting their health very well. There's something I say, especially I've noted, is a very major sign for people with disability when depression want to attack them, and it's that of increased appetite. Utakuta mtu ako na disability anakula, they eat maybe a lot without knowing they are eating out of depression, and that unakuta hiyo ugali anakula na hizo chapo anakula ndizo zitamletea tena diabetes because hafanyi exercise. So unakuta imeprovoke diabetes. So even in our missions, when we go to them in the villages, because most of them we go to them in the rural villages, we really advocate even for good health, you know, for good diet, that they can eat well. There are things that if you eat, like for example, if you have an autistic child and then you give them, you know, this sugary food, even if you're a good mother, you're trying to show them affection, because that's usually what happens. You know, the special children, sometimes these children that are living in special needs, you know, they are very favored by people. Unasikia kukapea vitu mzuri, but but with time unakuta hizo vitu ndizo zina affect health yake. Unakuta anakuwa hyperactive, anakuwa na hiyo hyperactivity, unashindwa kwa nini ananisumbua hivyo, lakini ukumbuke ni kwa sababu chakula ile anakula. So Better You Foundation, it entails a lot of things that can make a human being feel they are better than the way they were. We organize activities that will help them their mind. Like every time even we bring them together, we train them on skills as well. Tunaonesha vile wanaweza tengeneza sabuni, wanaweza tengeneza vitu, how mothers, especially the mothers like that lady said, they can be able to know how to weave, to tengeneza hizi mats, to make soaps, to bake cakes, to make fruit salads, to do those things, things that they can do in the house that can help them to be able to work even in the comfort of, even if they are not able to carry those children to very far, even in the house there is something they can be doing. So Better Foundation, we believe in empowering a person with disability to live a life like they feel like they also lived a life, because they are human beings, and also to avoid feeling as if they have lost in life because of how they were created. Allow me to say there's something that the Bible says, David said that, oh God, you saw me, you saw my unformed body in my mother's womb, you took notice of my frame as I was in my mother's womb. Do you know, when I read that verse, that is my own paraphrasing, I usually imagine when David was saying that, you saw my unformed body and you saw my frame ikitengenezwa, it shows that God had a reason for all these people getting, existing in this earth. Kwa hivyo hakuna mtu ambaye ni makosa. Na kwa hivyo kile kitakuzuia ni akili yako vile itakwambia. If you'll be able to fight anything that may want to come and and depress you and give you, and give you so much anxiety and hatred and anger towards yourself, you get to know that that's a demonic attack. That's not God.
And I've loved how you've put it. That God knew. God knew. It's not a mistake. He's not shocked that you can't see, or this is not happening. And you've also said that it's all in the mind.
It's all in the mind.
Yeah, it's all in the mind.
All in the mind. And I feel like if you love yourself, I know this is a mental awareness month, and if you love yourself, I think one of the things you should take care of yourself is your mind. And in case you feel there is something that is coming up, try to work on how to eliminate it out of your life as soon as possible.
Perfect. Now, we'll be looking at some of the myths that surround people with disability and depression. But maybe you just tell us, because you've been in this industry where you've been working with people with disability, and just to help them not get into depression. What would you say is one of the major myths?
One of the major myths about people with disability and depression, it's most people feel they are weak. They cannot do much. They are poor. They are not people that can be able to do a lot. And I feel that's a very bad misconception to people living with disability. There is a program we usually have in our church, as you said. We usually have a feeding program or a program that we do that we call Love Sunday. We normally bring people with disability to our church, and we fellowship with them. They do the keyboard. They're the ones that lead in worship. They're the ones that, they're the ones that lead in worship. The visually impaired do a presentation, even if they, the hearing impaired do a presentation. How do you even
get them to come?
They come. When we go to where they were, and then we invite them to church, they come. Because now we have become a family. And we usually have a very wonderful time. And those that have, those that have different giftings, they're able to do them that day. Now, and what we normally do when we do that, we also want the community to know that these people have a lot. They know a lot. They are not as weak as you think, and that is a very bad conception when people, do you know, a person with disability can do a good job for you, even than somebody that is even amesoma na akona degree. And it's only people that have never put most of them into tests. But you'll find that some of them are very organized. They have brilliant ideas. Oh my goodness. They can give you a business idea and you're like, oh my goodness, this person. So one thing I believe is a major misconception about people living with disability is having a poor rating of them and underrating the capabilities they have. And I feel that's wrong. Because as long as, especially somebody is not mentally sick, they can do anything.
You say that, and I've just remembered about, I know a teacher, I won't mention anafunza wapi, but I know a high school teacher, and he's blind, but he's one of the best teachers in school. Ukimweka tu kwa gate ya shule, atajipeleka everywhere. literally you mtapitana and you'll think he's actually seeing where he's going.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he does.
Oh my God, I like how
so
really.
you said that, and I just thought about it. I'm like, yeah, it's actually true.
Yeah.
We've just never put them to test enough to see the capability that they have.
Lovely.
Yeah, we need to do better there.
Yeah.
Now, I see we are having feedbacks coming in, and we'll be reading all of that. If you're living with someone with disability and there's a challenge kidogo, or you are someone with a disability and you're having a challenge kidogo and you're feeling like you're getting into depression because of the same, this is where we talk about it. We said this is Mental Health Awareness Month. So this is a very safe space. We're not judging. We're not feeling like, no,
Yeah.
you're less. No. This is home. We talk about all that. When if we're able to, we help where we can. We pray where we can, and we're able to, just create a family that is better. As you said.
Yeah.
We create a better you.
Yeah.
Sawa.
Yeah.
Now, I see there's someone who's mentioning about what you said while you were sitting about being a nurse. And I said, praise God, it's a good topic today. I'm learning something. Good work, Nurse Patricia. And I said, be blessed. Naitwa Charlotte kutoka Kilifi.
Wow.
But there's someone else who's saying, I'm a passionate nurse by profession, but I'm now retired. I really connect with what our guest Patricia is saying. Anaitwa Rehab kutoka Nyeri. Yeah, so this is a retired nurse.
Amazing.
Na anasema, mimi, whatever you say today, I absolutely relate.
I know.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
thank
retired.
you.
Yeah. Anasema, hello Rev and Madam Rachel. Hello. Anasema, God bless you for this topic, which has come at the appointed time when have given up in life. I'm a HR by profession, civil servant, single mom, but I'm saved. Been in a mental hospital for 1 month over tough work-related issues, whereby I had a toxic boss lady was shouting at me always. I lost my dad the same time, and it didn't mourn having a son I was taking care of. My son has a condition and I'm in debt always. No one understands me, including my own siblings. I've taken antidepressants, and currently I feel like I'm staying alone or shouting. I can't go to the psychiatrist because my boss anasema that they're mad. Really? I've heard people saying that someone is mad and they're actually not mad. They're just not mentally well. We need to differentiate, because some people are just going through mental stuff and you need to help them. They're not mad. You can't just go saying people are mad. No, they're not. Yeah. So I need to, because someone who's texting like this, surely, can they be mad?
No.
They're not. But they're saying that they are, and you've not said your name, but it's fine if you want it to stay like that. We're gonna get help. But what would you tell this person?
Oh, what I can tell that person, I can imagine there's something she has mentioned about she wasn't able to grieve her dad or something.
Yeah.
And I
lost sema amekuwa kwa a job in the, like, it's a toxic environment.
Yeah.
But I'd say one, it's because she's already going through depression. And I would say maybe you tell us, when someone is going through depression, is it usually hard to relate with other people?
It depends on how it's manifesting and also the kind of people that they're working with.
Okay.
Because, like, for example, if she's working with people that cannot understand when you're mentally ill, because as I said, not many people are able to identify it. So maybe people that are near her, they're just thinking maybe she's, she's not behaving well.
Yeah.
But they have not identified the fact that maybe she's not doing well. So, but my advice to her would still to see a psychiatrist as well. She said she's taking antidepressant. Yes.
Yeah, she's taking antidepressants, but she's saying she can't go to the psychiatrist because when she does, the boss anaenda anapena rumors that anaenda to a psychiatrist, she's mad, this one.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's why allow me to say this word, mental awareness should also be going back to, to corporates. Organizations should be taught on how to identify staff that has a, that has a mental illness, because it's because of lack of awareness maybe. And when they are taught, they are able to know how to handle people that are behaving in a certain way.
Yeah.
And you know what usually happens, if maybe somebody has not worked there for long, they may not know the idea, the normal or the healthy or the, yule vile mtu huyu anakuwa. You cannot notice the change. So pengine amekuwa na hiyo maybe for long, maybe the boss has not known when she was okay and when she has not been okay.
Yeah.
But mine, I feel she can go and approach even the boss and just explain to her, tell her what she's going through, because people may not know what you're going through. People may just look at you and think you're okay. And kama yeye kwa sababu ni mtu amesoma, kama amepata kazi kubwa, they may not mistake it. They may mistake it with just having an attitude or something. But when you explain to somebody what you're going through, maybe they can now take you to, take you seriously.
Yeah. And they get to understand what you're also going through.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I hear you. Now, if you have any question, please, this is a safe space. Please feel free to ask. I'll just repeat our numbers. We'll be reading more of what we already have here. Our numbers are very open, and that is 0721105105 on WhatsApp, 23814, our SMS code, which is absolutely free of charge. Okay? We're live on Facebook on MBCI TV Facebook page. We're live on YouTube on MBCI TV official YouTube page. Ukienda pale on all those social media pages, we'll be able to get your feedback. You'd text me on Rachel Kahugo on all social media pages. Pia pale nitaweza kupata ujumbe wako. But for today's discussion, if you'd want to keep your identity behind there, it's fine. You just talk to us, tell us what you're going through. If you'd want help, we'll be able to offer that. At the end of the discussion, we'll be giving a number so that if you'd want to get help, to ask something, then you'll be able to do that. Now, there's a very interesting question here. And I would start from this. Someone who's narcissistic, would they be depressed? Would being in depression manifest as being narcissistic? For us to be able to answer this question. Dr. Kama, it's totally different things that you're talking about here. Yeah.
That's a very tricky question, because depression, I can say that it can affect anyone, even depending with their personality. And if you have a personality like a narcissistic, when depression hits, it goes to another level. So,
but it's an underlying issue. It's there already.
Yeah, of course it's an underlying issue. But kuna vile sasa, if you are not careful, sasa ukikubali yende sasa to, depression, sasa ukuwe a depressed, umeuliza a narcissistic person akiwa na depression, right?
No, if unaweza kuwa na depression and then it manifests as being narcissistic.
I get you.
Yeah.
I get you. Yes. I know you know some of how narcissistic people behave. Na there is a connection. Yeah, some of the people, the way people with narcissistic whatever narcissistic personality behave, and those that are depressed.
Okay.
So but you have to be very careful to notice hiyo tofauti. Na kitu mimi huwa I normally say, it's always good for us to know what kind of a person you are, or what personality everyone carries.
Yeah.
Because when some people get depressed, their personality inakuwa tofauti. Na ukiwajua kama hawajapata depression, unaonaga tu kuwa tu sawa. But when they get into depression, ndio unaanzaga kuona
this person,
huyu hakukuwa hivyo, hakuangi hivyo, this is not him. Yes.
Okay.
So ndio ni vizuri unajua, even if a narcissistic mtu anajiita mtu ambaye ako na depression ameanza kubehave in a narcissistic way, until when, how long has it been?
Or is it a normal thing?
Is it a normal thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now this person is asking, how are you supposed to deal with this particular person?
Who is depressed?
Yeah, who is narcissistic?
Oh my goodness. Narcissistic, I think that one is another thing.
That's a whole other topic.
I know, it's a huge topic.
Yeah.
Yes.
But kwanza, maybe as you said, just check if this person could be depressed.
Yes, most of the underlying cause for narcissistic people need depression, but they don't know. So na watu wengi hawajajua kukaa na watu kama hao.
Yeah.
And those people, are very difficult.
Yeah.
And people have gone through hell in the hands of those people. So mimi kile huwa nasema, self-care is first very important. Make sure that you're safe. Don't allow yourself to, unakuta maisha yako iko hatarini in the name of
Yeah.
in the name of living
Nataka
somebody.
kukatuna,
Katikati
I'm
hapo.
taking care.
I'm taking care, navumilia.
Yeah.
You know? And then you find yourself umepata shida kubwa, watu wanashindwa, why were you not doing, ulikuwa hujiangalii mapema. So mimi huwa nasema look for help.
Okay.
And that is why, because mimi huwa nasema let people look for help. Don't die where you are. Don't just keep quiet and say everything is okay when you know things are not okay.
Yeah,
look for people
help.
that you know that wakiingililia hii case wanaweza nisaidia. Usinyamaza hivyo.
Okay, perfect. Now, time is really running. So what we'll do, we'll take a very short break because it's already 9 a.m. and then we'll be coming right back. So just to remind you that today we're talking about depression, we're talking about people with disability or people who are living with people with disability. How does that affect your mental health? Is it just normal? So if you're there and you live with someone with disability or you are someone with disability, if you feel you have any issue, this is where you talk to us and you will get help. Sawa sawa, this is MBC ITV ambapo tunabadilisha maisha by the grace of God. And of course, the show on air is Afya Clinic. A very short break and then we'll be coming right back.
MBCI Television, transforming lives.
Si kuna types of moon, nitajia aina 3 za moon zenye unajua?
Cloud moon. Haya. Kuna earth moon. Kuna moon revolving. Sijui.
Trump ni president wa US na Zelensky ni president wa wapi? Kulingana na wewe, Zelensky ni president wa wapi?
Zelensky. Zelensky is not a president. He's a football player.
Mtoto wa kuku anaitwa kifaranga, mtoto wa ndovu anaitwa
tembo.
Nataka unikamilishie methali. Mtaka cha mvunguni?
Sharti ainame.
Kwenye udongo?
Hapakosi maji. Hapakosi maji.
Nestled just 11 kilometers from Nakuru town along the Njoro Road, Bridgewater Primary and Junior Schools offers a unique learning experience in a peaceful and conducive environment. Our dedicated staff ensures that every child receives the attention they deserve with a small student-to-teacher ratio that enhances individualized learning. With state-of-the-art science and computer laboratories, your child will have access to modern learning resources that prepare them for a bright future. We provide ample space for recreation and rest with a large playground for physical activities and clean, spacious dormitories with 24-hour resident matrons ensuring your child's safety and well-being. Every learner is provided with enough textbooks in all learning areas, ensuring they all have what they need to succeed academically. Transport is available, making it easy for both day and boarding students to access the school. Your child's safety is our priority, with a secure environment to ensure peace of mind for every parent. Bridgewater Primary and Junior Schools is committed to maintaining a clean environment and providing a reliable water supply sourced directly from our own borehole. At Bridgewater, we offer affordable school fees without compromising the quality of education. Join us today and give your child a brighter future. For more details, contact 0727 070 076 or 0752 730 715. Bridgewater Primary and Junior Schools, where your child's journey to success begins.
Nakuru, are you ready? The Gathering of Champions Conference 2025 is here, a divine appointment where grace meets destiny. From dates 5th to 10th May 2025, JCC Nakuru Church invites you to witness a conference like no other, with powerful seasoned ministers from all around Kenya here for your season. With Papa Wilfred Lai,
he is raising up a people who are going to make a difference, because they will cause sin. They will turn away from every evil, because every evil is an abomination before the Lord.
Apostle T. Mwangi, a revivalist igniting fresh fire and revelation.
Revival is not when men mobilize men. It's when there is a genuine conviction.
Pastor Lai Jr. breaking barriers through deep teachings of the word.
He's not looking for them that are strong. He is looking for them that can be subject to him.
And a psalmist like no other, Pastor Israel Ezekiel, ushering us into an atmosphere of worship and divine encounters. All hosted by our very own Apostle Anthony Musembi, together with his wife, Pastor Maureen Musembi.
There is something that will happen when you go deeper, child of God.
Here at JCC Nakuru Church from 9 a.m. daily. Come expecting fresh anointing, divine impartation, healing and deliverance, prophetic encounters, and overflow of grace in every area of your life. And registration is completely free. We invite you to your season of power and grace. Contact us through the office lines showing, and come receive your abundant grace this 2025. See you there.
MBCI Television, transforming lives.
All right, we're back after that very short break. As I promised that it was going to be a very short break, and you've seen we are back. This is Afya Clinic, where we talk about everything health. And of course, this is MBCI TV, ambapo tunabadilisha maisha by the grace of God. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. We'll have to put up a poster and say it every day so that it will get to our systems, and we'll be able to make sure that every day we are advocating for a healthy mental state, because that's very important. And today we are talking about depression. Has been a topic. We'll need to talk about it even more, just to make sure that hatuna watu wenye wako depressed anymore. And if you're there, you're depressed, you know that you're depressed, and you're working towards getting better, because that is what is important. And we're relating that to the people with disability. And, you know, we want to know, is that related? And for the people who are disabled, or for the people who are living with people with disability, are you able to live a healthy life and to also live in a way that you're not mentally unstable? Okay? So if you have any question, this is home, this is the place to be. Our numbers are very open and they're ready to hear from you. That is 0721 105 105 on WhatsApp. And of course, we have our SMS code, which is absolutely free. That is 23814, 23814. And we're live on Facebook on MBCI TV Facebook page. We're live on YouTube on MBCI TV official YouTube page. We're here to listen. We're here to help. We're here as a family. Today we're having Rev Patricia. She wears so many hats. She's a reverend, a nurse, a mom, a friend, a mentor, a wife. I hope and many more. Yeah. And you're here to talk about that particular topic. Once again, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying and I'm loving being here.
Asante Sarah.
Yes.
Now, as we're talking about people with disability, we're talking about depression, it's also very important for us to talk about people who live with people with disability, their friends and their family. How are they able to help these people live even better? Yeah.
Wow, that's a very good question. Because I believe families that have a person that have a disability in their family cannot be the same with a family that does not have anyone with a disability.
Yeah.
And I think it's a study that has said that in every I think 7 families, there is 2 families that that have a person with disability. Okay. So disability is also becoming very common.
Yeah.
And there is a fact that most families, or anyone that has a sibling or somebody that is close to them or a parent with a disability are not the same. Sometimes they may get themselves in a certain form of depression without knowing. I have had cases myself, even in our organization, young people coming, especially the high schoolers. You find that, or maybe young people that are, the young people, they come and they're like, Reverend Patricia, I wanted to help me because I hate my mother. I don't like the way she walks. I don't like the way she does this and this. I hate my dad. My dad just stays in the house. Ako tu kwa wheelchair, hakuna kitu anasaidia madhe ni yeye anapambana na sisi. So you find those people, they project their anger towards those people. Not knowing that they are not able to do some things, their roles are in the family, they may not do it the best because of their disability. And people mistake that. There is a program that we will be doing even this August, and it's a program of teens and youth, of persons that are living with disability. Because even those parents come and they're like, kijana wangu sahi anisikii, kijana wangu ananidharau, nikimwambia niletee kitu fulani anakuambia wewe unafanya nini ukiwa umeketi, and you find those mothers, they also get depressed, and those children are behaving like that not because they hate their parents, but they have also entered into a form of depression. You find that those children, they don't want their mothers to go for visiting days, their parents to go for visiting days, their brothers, their brother or a sister that is living with disability, they don't want to walk near them. They don't even to say they have a sister. When I was in medical school, I had a friend, because I've always been passionate about people with disability. But one time she told me, do you know I have a brother that is hearing impaired, but I don't like him. I normally feel bad. I don't even tell people I have such a brother. I'm the one that worked a journey with her until I visited her house. And I told her, I just want to come and see your brother. And she was like, unatoka kwenye ukuche kuona ka brother kangu na vile kanasumbua, kakona autism, na pia akasikiangi. When I went to see the child, she was like, oh my goodness, you came all the way to see my brother, not even me, and I'm your friend. And she was like, oh my goodness. From that time, she changed her perception towards how he has been seeing her brother. So, and that's the same case with so many people. You find that people are not proud of them, and they feel, and these people with the disability, they can feel the hatred and the rejection that some of them are getting from their relatives and from people. Unakuta, I don't know whether you have ever noted, in a wedding it's hard to find a person walking on a wheelchair ama kwa clutch kwa harusi. Ushaiona kitu kama hiyo? And you may find huyu mtu alikuwa anataka akuje kwa harusi, lakini hawezi. Hakuna mtu anataka hawasimamia harusi. Have you ever seen mtu kwa wheelchair amesimamia harusi, ako best couple?
Come to think about it.
I know. And is it that we don't have couples that can make a very good, best couple that are,
They're there.
Ama asimamia harusi akue pale kwa nini? Hata kama hata dance kama maids wengine siingie hapo hata yeye. So some small things that don't appear as if they don't mean much, they can mean a lot. Kama mimi nasemanga mtu akifanya harusi aite all with disability wasimamie. Can you imagine such? Kwa photo shoot umejaza watu. I know.
It would be really beautiful.
I know.
Maybe now that will bring us to how do we remove the stigma? Because there's so much stigma in society for people with disability.
Stigma itatoka through awareness. Watu wengi hawajui na watu wengi wako na hiyo, as you said, the myths and the misconception. Unakuta watu wengi hawana hiyo, wako tu na attitude, nikionekana nikitembea na huyu mtu watu watafikiria kwani watu wanazaliwa wangu wakikaa aje. Nikionekana na huyu mtu ataniuliza kwa nini ninatembea na mtu anakaa hivyo. Tukitembea kwa street mtu atakuwa, unakuwa wewe you are guarding what people will view you with that person without thinking what about that person, how is she viewing life when na mimi kile mimi nitasema the community embrace these people. I'm a person that there is a thing that I'm very passionate to talk about. I know I talk about the spirit of pride a lot. na sisemi ya kwamba mtu ambaye ako na nini, but I
We
normally
need to
say
talk about that.
yeah,
that's
because
something.
if you see yourself you are better than the other person, it's a form of pride, but people don't realize it.
Yeah.
In fact, even when Jesus was talking in the Bible, there is something that the Bible says that when you organize a party, invite the lame, the deaf, the lame, the deaf, the crippled. Call them, you have lunch, you have a party together, kwa sababu hao hawatakulipa, lakini hao matajiri watakulipa na The reason why that scripture was written is because people have that class wameweka, wanataka kuassociate with the rich and people that are. So myself, I would really, and that is a very good way of overcoming stigma. I mean, watu embrace that's the approach. Kama Yesu ndiye alisema, wakati utatengeneza party, usiite matajiri, eat the lame, the deaf. You know, that was one of the way that Jesus was tackling the issue of stigmatization that comes with people with disability. Have them on board, bring them on board, invite them for things you are doing, invite them to church, invite them for your birthday, you know, invite them to your house, go with them somewhere, travel with them abroad, you know, pay a ticket for them.
That's good.
Take them to holiday.
Yeah,
you know?
maybe in a holiday now.
I know.
That would be really beautiful. You
know.
think that, and I'm just thinking, I have a cousin who's, I don't know if they're watching, I have a cousin who's autistic, but very
mild.
But I absolutely, you know, I'm saying that because when was it, like 3 weeks ago, we were talking about autism, and we were talking about how that looks like and how to embrace these people. And I was just saying, if you're able to look at it from another perspective, you'd see how amazing these people are.
I know.
Because now for me, I was giving an example. I'd love to stay with that boy for like 3-4 days to night drop, because he's jovial, he's outgoing, he's the people you'd love to stay around. And as you've said, is that we just don't stay with them enough to know how beautiful and how amazing these people are.
Thank you.
Because they're so real, if you ask me. How I sugarcoat, but if you want to be told the truth, look for these people.
It's true. They don't sugarcoat. No, but that akikasirika atakwambia, I don't like the way you have treated me. They are very vocal. They don't put things in their heart. So as you say, that's very true. So the other thing that people can overcome, whenever embrace these people, is also by offering them employment. I really feel bad when sometimes you find a very big organization that can employ so many people, but they don't want to give an opportunity to a young woman, a young mother, a man or a woman that, you know, that has a disability. Sometimes it's not right. Do you know a person with disability, you can just put them at a desk, kama amesomea computer, fanya receptionist. You know, ana receive watu, hakuna mahali atatumika, na hakuna, you know, and by that, kuinteract na watu hivyo, unakuta huyo mtu hata hawezi pata stress, mental health, hawezi kuwa attacked na any disease from it. Because they feel they are getting income, they are meeting different kind of people are appreciating what they are doing.
They see the value of life.
My prayer would be if the organizations and companies and business people would also have a place that they have a ratio of people they can employ that are living with disability. That can really help. Because a lot of them, no one is there to hire them. There's a time I went to a very remote village here in Nakuru, very far, and I met a young man, and he's like, Patricia, nitafutie kazi. Nikamwambia, alikuwa amekuja na CV. I checked his CV. Do you know that man has 2 degrees?
Oh, really?
Oh my goodness, he was talking English, and I was like, are you for real? You live in this village? I was told by the villagers that even when Wazungus go to that village, they usually look for him. He's the only one that can interpret what the Wazungus are saying when they visit. He talks very well. He was like, you know, I went to Sijui Kenyatta University, I did Sijui degree in this, and then and I was like, what?
And what are you doing here?
Oh my, I was saying, if the government can know such people are here, you know, and he was like, me nimetuma CV zote, naendaga interview zipiti. You know, it's not good. And
it's not right.
It's not right.
But I saw a poster, maybe we should be doing that more as a corporate. I saw a poster the other day, and one of the requirements was must be a person with disability.
Oh,
yeah, I
that's
know.
Good.
Nikashanga sana.
I know.
Maybe we should, as corporate, do that once in a while.
Yes.
Just to incorporate these people.
Yes.
Okay, let's look at the Mythbusters so that we'd be able to see some of the myths that surround persons with disability, or persons who have depression. Tuone kama ni ukweli ama ni story. Okay? So our number one mythbuster today is that depression is just sadness. Is it?
No.
What is the relation there?
Sadness is one of the signs of depression.
Okay.
But most people, there are people that are very jovial, but they are depressed. They look as if they are happy, lakini wako na depression.
Okay.
So sadness is not depression.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's different, but it's related in a way.
Yes, it's related in a way.
Okay. On to the second one that we have today is that you can nap out of it if you try hard enough.
Yes.
Is it true? You can just sleep and tomorrow you will wake up ukiwa sawa, hauna depression tena.
No. No, I think
the story, yeah. But does fatigue cause depression?
You know, there are people that, fatigue can cause depression.
Yeah.
No, fatigue cannot cause. What happens is fatigue causes a burnout. Unakuwa uko burnout, hauna nguvu ya kufanya anything.
Yeah.
And burnout can now lead to depression. Yes.
Yeah, because I've had people say that maybe them najua niko depressed, nimechoka sana, I just need to sleep, rest.
Well, in fact, watu wengi wanasema kwa depressed hata hawajakuwa
Hawajakuwa,
depressed. Hata hawasemi ndio wako. Yeah.
Okay.
Kuna ile that you can get a bit anxious or stressed, but haijafika ile ya sana.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. On to the third one is that disabled people always want or need help.
No, they don't.
They can live
they can
fully by themselves.
They can, not. You see the way it's written. Disabled people always want or need help.
It's
not
always
every
part.
time. It's not like that.
Yeah.
Let me say something. Like we normally have a feeding program that we normally give. Sometimes after we do activities, we feed people. We give them shopping.
Yeah.
And every time we are also giving them shopping, we normally tell them, we are not giving you shopping because you don't have food in the house. You don't have anything to eat. We are just giving you this food just to show you that we love you and we care for you.
That's good.
And that approach, every time we do that. Good. Do you know the other time, like for example, when we go to the village, we are carrying ungas and things and we are doing things for medical camp. People bring us pumpkins, they bring us domas, gwashi. Tunaenda na gari imejaa hivi. Na wauliza hizo vitu mmetoa wapi? Tuambie Patricia hatugekosa kutuletea. Umekuja kwetu lazima
really?
Do you know wananiletea mahindi? Wanakuja na viazi gunia mzima.
So it's them that are bringing you gifts now.
And I'm like, what? Umebebana na hizo vitu? Wakasema lazima tugebeba. Mimi ni
wow.
It's not because they lack. And that is why even when every time we give them anything, we tell them even iyo kuwapea hizo madawa. It's not that they cannot go to hospital. Some can. But we're just doing this as an act of kindness to them. So even for people that need help, that watu wako na hiyo perception, they may not.
Yeah, they can actually do it themselves. I feel like that's a really good thing. When you're going to give food, ama madawa, just make sure you tell them that we're not doing this because you can't do it for yourself. It's just an act of love and kindness. It's a
kind of love and kindness.
Okay.
And
that's a good approach.
And in case you don't need it, you can share with another family. Like there's a time we did a program. There's a program we do, and we normally we usually have a food bank in our church, the Lord's Store.
Yeah.
And what we have been doing even as a church, we normally sometimes give people food stuff. But the food stuff, the members of the church are the ones that come with that unga. Kila Sunday mtu anaenda na paper bag, anakuja na unga moja next Sunday. So kama ulikuwa unataka unga, ulikuwa umechukua unga la Sunday, wewe ndio utakuja na ingine. You see, that does not bring a lot of dependence and also makes you feel like, I'm not in that need. I can also provide for someone else. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So that was it's a misconception.
It's a misconception.
Yeah.
Okay. And the last one is that disability is always visible.
No, disability can be very hidden.
Yeah.
And that is why I believe in when somebody tells you they are fighting a certain form of disability, just believe it.
Yeah.
Kuna watu wako na chuma kwa miguu na hauwezi ona, walifanyiwa wako na an artificial elbow, they have an artificial knee, they have an artificial eye, an artificial ear, they have a cornea implant. All those people have disability. They have a cornea implant. I mean a cornea implant, wako na cochlear ear ya kusikia. You know, they have na shunt kwa kichwa. You know, they have so many things they cannot be onekani kama wako nazo, but they are
It's there.
Yeah, it's there.
And maybe now that you've mentioned that, how are you able as a society to pinpoint someone that is depressed? Because we've talked about how we're able to help these people come out of the depression. But we also sometimes just don't realize that this person is depressed. Kama mwenye amesema watu wanamwambia she's mad. So people haven't realized that this person is actually depressed. So for the community, how would we pinpoint this person is going through something and they need help?
Wow, some of it can be people. Some people may not portray so many visible signs that they are in depression. But in case you know that somebody at a closer age, and maybe you get to know maybe some of the few things that they have gone through, and all of a sudden they may appear, they have started changing. Maybe they have started to isolate themselves. They don't want to go to work. Wamejiachilia. You know, it's good to get to kukaribia mtu kidogo. Because people don't have people to share with. Nobody want to listen to your story. Unaenda kuambia mtu, mimi niko na stress. Anakuambia mimi hata niko na zile nyingi. Ukifikiria tu huyo ndiye atakufungukia, utamfungulia moyo, unakuta amefunga kwa kusema mimi hata sitaki mtu ananipea stress.
Niko na zangu enough.
Niko zangu ziko enough. Alafu another thing also, unakuta watu hawataki kusikiza mtu kwa sababu wanaona you are an adult, handle it like a woman, like a man. You know, you are also a man enough. So unakuta watu wanaona kama mtu huyu ni weak, ni kujifanya, ni kufanya mambo ionekane kama ni serious, but it's not serious. But what I can say, look at any sign. Any sign that looks somebody is not the way they were. Look for that. Ask somebody, what is happening? How can I help you? Nowadays, I don't see you happy as you should be. Is everything okay? Is there anything I can help you? Is your marriage okay? Because a lot of also people with disability are going through issues in marriages because their spouses are some of them feel this like married a burden, somebody that has become such a burden. And unakuta ina strain a lot marriages. But unakuta wengi hata ni kuvumilia, but they don't have anyone they can pour that to. You know, that man or that woman ambaye anaishi na a spouse that has a disability, they're also going through a mental issue. Unakuta pengine wanakasirika haraka, na hiyo inakuta imeanza kufanya mtu asikie akiwa depressed. So my prayer would be, let the community also be very vigilant to notice any form. No, even you hear somebody telling you, I would want to die. I don't want to even, like for example, we usually donate a lot of wheelchairs as Better You Foundation. And there are times we bring people with disability, mtu anakuambia, unamwambia utasubiri kidogo kabla tupime, anasema hata mimi nimeachana na hata sitaki, hata mlikuwa mmekuja kuniweka hapa, na maybe it's something kidogo umemwambia kuna line kidogo, sasa nitashinda hapa nikisubiri. Unakuta hiyo kahasira sikutaka ni kwa sababu wako na depression and they don't even to survive. They are just looking for an excuse even not to get that wheelchair so that they can continue what she done kind of hizo mashida. So anytime we notice such a person behaving maybe such a thing in such a way, we call them, ndio hao tunawapianga sasa counselors. Unakuta mtu amelia imetoka, amekwambia mimi hata sikuwa na ubaya, hata nilikuwa tu nimefikiria, unajua, you know, na unakuta mtu huyu amekuwa sawa. So if you're not careful to notice those small things that appears as if they are not serious, those are some of the signs of it. You know, saa zingine unakuta mtu ako na hiyo kitu ya kusema hataki kazi, hataki anything, kimwambia let's try this, can I help you to do this and this, I don't want. You know, it's also a good sign to notice. Now ukiona hiyo, try to see how you can be able to win that person over.
Okay, yes. That's very important. So if you realize that someone needs help, be the person that provides the help. Okay, let's be a good community. Ndo ubarikiwe. Okay. Now we'll get to this particular segment that is healthy living, that talks about how to live healthy, and that's very important. After that, we'll be coming right back as we wind up because time is really running. We'll read some of the feedbacks and then we'll be telling you about an amazing program that's coming up. Yeah, we'll be sharing about that as well. But for now, let's get healthy living.
Hello and welcome to Healthy Living. My name is Sylvia Wanjar. Today we are going to discuss about disability and depression. Understanding the link and finding the support that you need is very, very important. People living with disabilities may be at increased risk for depression, but with the right support and strategies, both the emotional and physical challenges can be managed effectively. Why disability can lead to depression. living with a disability can affect mental health due to chronic pain or fatigue, loss of independence or mobility, social isolation or limited interaction, negative societal attitudes or discrimination, unemployment or financial stress, sudden life changes after an accident or diagnosis. Common signs of depression in people with disabilities: persistent sadness or hopelessness, loss of interest in activities, fatigue or sleep changes, feelings of worthiness or guilt, difficulty concentrating, thoughts of self-harm or suicide. Note, these symptoms should be evaluated by a medical or mental health profession. Ways to cope and improve mental health. Number 1, seek professional support. Talk to a therapist, counselor or a psychiatrist. Some may specialize in disability-related mental health. Medication can be prescribed if necessary. Number 2, build a support network. Surround yourself with family, friends or caregivers. Join support group that is online or in person for people with similar experiences. Number 3, stay physically active where possible. Engage in adaptive exercises to boost mood. Movement releases endorphins which combat depression. Number 4, focus on what you can do. Set small goals and celebrate your abilities. Reframe disability as a part of who you are, not all of who you are. Number 5, challenge negative thoughts. Replace self-criticism with positive affirmations. Practice mindfulness or cognitive behavioral techniques. Number 6, stay connected. Avoid isolation by staying involved in community activities, advocacy or hobbies. Use assistive technology to connect online. Number 7, advocate and educate. Educate others about disability rights and inclusion. Being a part of a movement can empower you and reduce feelings of helplessness.
All right, so we are back after that particular segment, and we're here to continue with the discussion and just wind up from where we did left. So thank you so much for staying. This is Afya Clinic. Of course, this is where we talk about everything health, and we're doing this on MBCI TV. Thank you for everyone who's making this show a success. Nitawapea shout out tukimaliza, but for now, stay tuned. All right? And this is where you also call in other people. I've seen someone saying that you're going into something else, to do something else, so you'll be able to stay up to the end. The show is live on Facebook, the show is live on YouTube. You'll be able to get this link, say forever, okay? Because it will be there. So right when you're done, just make sure you go through it, send the links to the people that will need it, people who have disability or people who are living with people with disability, or someone who you know is depressed and they know that they're going to get help. Sawa sawa, and I'll be giving the numbers as we wind up. I see you saying that your husband needs help. You can tell us what the issue is, and by the grace of God we'll be able to help. Sawa sawa. Anasema, can lack of taking IFAS tablets during pregnancy cause any kind of disability to the child?
That's a good question. IFAS is recommended. IFAS is recommended to pregnant mothers, mothers that are expecting. And it's not the cause of having a child that has a disability, but it can lead if you are not careful. Because what it does, you know, IFAS is a combination of different supplements, iron, you know, all those supplements. So it's healthy. It's very recommended that you take them. But in case you have not taken them and maybe you have gotten a child with disability, it may not be the cause. It may be other underlying cause, but it may contribute a small percentage though. Yes, but it's always recommended that one to take, because most of the people when they're expecting, they don't have enough iron. And these are some of the tablets that supplement what the child is taking. So it's always advisable that a mother should take.
Okay. I see. All right, so if you have any other questions, we'll be getting back, but also we'll be giving a contact if you're there in the after because you're having something that's coming up, a program, and we'll be talking about it. So after that, if you've been needing any help that is related to that, we'll be giving a number. But before we do that, I'll need to give a shout out to this kwa sababu tutamaliza, turudi chosen generation, turudi mamlaka, tutapatana na wenye na watch, and we didn't shout out, and they've texted na hatutaki nini. All right? Thank you, MC Willie Favor. I see you here. You're watching. God bless you. We have Edward Chege. Anasema it's very better moment that God has given us this morning. Okay? I think you mean it's a good time that God has given us this morning. I say thank you so much for tuning in on Jiro. And I say, I keep shining my Rev Patricia Benson. Thank you so much. We have Maggie, unasema you're following. Essie, I see you. Joseph Baraka, God bless you. We have KK, nikamemwona mahali. Anasema na watch, God bless you. We might not be able to reach all of you, but thank you so much for tuning in. I remember I had said that you tell us where you're watching us from and what you're thanking God for. I see they're coming in. Asanteni sana for sharing. Now, we have a program that's coming up.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh. Now, this month we have a program. We have that Better You Foundation. We are partnering with different organizations. But this time round, in the month of May, I had said March.
Yeah, May.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, in the month of May, we are partnering. There's an organization that is called Hope Mobility. Hope Mobility.
Yeah.
And Hope Mobility works with other organizations, Christian organizations, and by the grace of God, we'll be hosting that team of Hope Mobility of about more than 30 that will be coming to Chosen Generation Church and Better You Foundation and APDK Nakuru. We are partnering all together and National Council for Persons Living with Disability. And by the grace of God, we'll be giving mobility devices, assessment and distribution of mobility devices to people living with disability, especially within Nakuru County. And we'll be offering that service here in Nakuru County. And maybe would want to request, in case somebody is there and maybe would want maybe anything to do with a wheelchair, a clutch, a walking stick, an elbow clutch, they can write to us, and then we can get to see whether we can, we'll be able to reach to them, and then we can be able to become a blessing to them.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe you can just take that again, and this is for you. You've said people who need mobility
devices.
Mobility devices.
Yes.
That is the wheelchair.
Wheelchair. Even cerebral palsy wheelchairs for children. You know, there are children that need wheelchairs. Clutches, walking sticks, walking frames, you know, elbow clutches, you know, all those things. In case there is somebody that is in dire need of them, they can write to us and then we can get back to them.
Okay.
Yes.
For free?
For free,
Okay.
for free. Yes, yes. They can also let us know where they are, especially those that are in Nakuru County, they can write to us. But in case even you are out of this county, we can partner with other organizations to see whether they can be able to reach to those people.
Okay.
Yes, where we can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, we will be having the numbers on the screen. Maybe our director will just have the numbers running on the screen so that if you're there, you need the mobility devices, you will be able to get them. But what you do, the numbers are on the screen. So what you do is that write your name, write what exactly you need, and where you are. Okay. So if possible, don't call for record keeping. Text so that itapatikana pale, and they'll be able to reach out to you. So let us know your name, what you need, and then tell us where you're from. Okay, and you've said atakama wako nje ya Nakuru, you will be able to know how they can get help.
Yeah.
Okay, that is perfect. Now, there's something that we talked about maybe before you give us your parting shots. There's something that we talked about which was very important, and that was on how to reduce the stigma, because we have so much stigma towards people with disability. And I would say that is one of the reasons why people with disability are getting into depression, because they feel like they're not fully accepted into the community. Maybe you can just take it again and explain to us and tell us what are you supposed to do to get it to zero, just to make sure that hakuna mtu mwenye anafeel ako left out.
Yes.
Whether you're disabled in any way, or you're having depression, or you're not okay. Imagine tukifika mahali where you're able to just talk about stuff openly and don't feel like you're unakuwa judged for the fact that you're depressed and you're a man, because what do you mean? You know?
Yeah.
If you're able to talk about that, that would be really beautiful. So how would we reduce the stigma to zero?
Oh, that's a very good question, because if there, I think that is what every person living with disability, that's their silent prayer. Every time they pray, maybe they tell God, oh God, let people get to understand who we are and what we need. So myself, I would say that the community, we have a lot of work to do, but it depends also with what kind of a person also you are, because there are people that they don't want to change.
Yeah.
But I just pray that
made the decision.
They have an attitude. But my prayer is that as the community, let's change our attitude and perception towards them. And even as I said in the beginning, let's have that approach of, like, allow me to say this in the morning. I was, every morning, sometimes, yesterday morning, I was thinking about it. I was telling, I think I was praying, and I was telling God, do you know some of the reason some of people, most people that themselves, they are not going through any disability, or they don't have a person with living with disability that is close to them? It's because God knew that you're not strong enough. You cannot withstand what those people go through. But God saw you are so weak. You cannot. So God saw something special in these people. So my prayer would be that the community, let us embrace these people. Employ them. If you have a place, you can employ them, as I said. Employ them. If you can be able to sponsor a family, or sponsor a family to start a business. Unakutanga saa zingine mama ako mahali kwa biashara, ako na mkono wa biashara, na ni mama ako na ulemavu ama mzee ako na ulemavu. Lakini kasoka ako na kasoka ka 300, 400, 500. Unakuta huyo mtu kama mtu agemboost, if you can boost that person, the business to become in a stable place, kama ni hoka, akuwe mahali hatoki, and then you can boost them to do a better business. Even if it's not much, even if you boost with another 5,000 on top of what they're doing, it can bring a big change.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, the other thing also is concerning their health. When they go to any place, like in the hospital setup, let the hospitals accept them. Let them not see them as if they are, because even in the hospital, because I'm a nurse, unakutanga mtu ameingia na kwambia, sasa wewe ninakwambia weke mguu vizuri nikudunge sindano. Unakuta maybe the way they are being approached, that negative experience, it traumatizes them. Unasema mimi hata siwezi enda siwezi enda hosi. Hawa nurses wanagombanisha mtu. Unakuta mama ako na mtoto ako na ulemavu, anaanza kuambiwa
kwanza hapo.
Wanaambiwa sasa, mama, kwa nini upatie mtoto chakula add weight? Kazi yako tu ni mtoto juzi alikuwa kilo, unakuta amesomewa, but you don't imagine that child should not have the same weight with for a normal child. Baada kuambia mama usijali, hata kama huyu mtoto ameongeza gramu 1 ako sawa, ametry, hata kama wengine unaona wameongeza kilo, wewe sawa. My prayer would also be that even in the health industry, let's also embrace them. I'm not saying that you're not doing it, but let's also do it. Churches as well, in the worship places, even the mosque or wherever they go, let them feel the love. Let them be given leadership position even in churches. Let them lead services. Let them be given some. Do you know there are people with disability that have a ministry? They can preach, they can sing, they can produce songs, but they don't have anyone to embrace them and to nurture what they have. Let's also give them an opportunity to grow their ministry as well. The community, the neighbors. Like there's something I normally say, like even the tenants, as they are giving these people a place to live, usimpatie nyumba iko 8th floor, unasema hii ndio iko wewe ukitaka kuchukua enda. There is a way you can be able to allocate some few houses in case somebody that was looking for a house need. Hii kuwa unasema hii si tutakukomboisha wewe, hii ni ya mtu mwingine, case anaweza kuja anataka nyumba, anaweza ingia. Na kama wewe ni landlord na unaona kabisa uko na mtu ako kwa hiyo nyumba anatumia wheelchair, customize your house in a way it can accommodate that person. Don't let that person suffer. Anatamka hivi, anakaa hivi, kila siku anabebaniwa because of akakitu. Ugeita fundi ashinde hapo atengeneze hiyo wheelchair inaingia vizuri, unakuta that person is not suffering as much. If that person is working in a shop, customize that shop for a person that can live with disability, can be able to use it. And these things will help that person to be very mentally stable. Hata sikia kona pressure ya anything, and in case there is a way, as we are saying, that we are offering like the mobility devices. In case you can be able to sponsor somebody to have such a mobility device, it also helps. Unakuta hiyo imesaidia mtu ameacha kusikia, and struggle. It's so sad. Like I've realized, like in Nakuru County, we are more than 15,000 persons that are living with disability. Nakuru County itself, more than 15,000 people.
15,000
there are so many, and you can imagine all those people. There is maybe a big percentage of them, there is something that they are using to survive, either diapers. Watoto hao ambao wako na disability, wengi unakutanga wengi autistic. They are using like 5 diapers every day. A diaper is very expensive. As a community, you can be able to sponsor a family. Unasema nitakuletea diapers this month. Hata kama si this month, ile packet 2 ile kubwa. You can do such a thing.
So let's do something about it.
I know, there are so many needs. Unakuta hata nguo, some of them because those children are crawling on the floor. Nguo zao zinazeeka. Na si kwa sababu wazazi ni maskini. Nguo yako yenye mtoto wako anavaa anakaa nayo mwaka mzima, huyu mtoto anavaa siku mbili. Because of the friction ya ground, unakuta hiyo nguo inararuka, inakaa vibaya, haizi enda nayo mahali. You know, unakuta watu wanateseka. These teens, children, I mean the young ladies that are teens and young women, they are wanahitaji sanitary towels. You know, all those things are very necessary.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so there are so many needs that people can come in and become a blessing, and it goes a long way.
Perfect. Oh wow. Please make sure that at least in between today and by the time the month in Aisha, do something. As little as that could be, because as you say, this is Mental Health Awareness Month. So it would be our goal for each and everyone to just make sure that you've done something. Hata kama ni socks tutanunulia that baby, hata kama ni diaper, as you say. Yeah, so just make sure you do something. Just be a blessing to a family, be a blessing to someone. And I know that, you know, it will be written in the record of heaven that you did something, you touched a life. Okay? That would be very important. Just one last question. And I know this is a very important question, but it's not a health question, surely, but it's fine. So we'll use it as the last question and then we'll be done. I have a lady who's asking, how do you balance work, family, ministry, all that? How do you balance that?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's not easy. It is not easy. You have to be very mentally stable, as you said as well.
Yeah.
Now, allow me to say this even concerning women, because I love also empowering women. You cannot become everything. Do what you can.
Yeah.
If your grace is to do two things, do those two things the best way you know how. If it's to do one thing, do it the best way you know how. Now, for myself, what I do what I can. I may do a lot. I may see as if I'm doing much, a lot, but I also do according to what the capacity that God has given me. So what I can say, always know that your family comes first. Your family comes first, no matter what. Like that's why I've told you before I came here. I've dropped my children to school. I've prepared breakfast for them before I came, so that, you know, because my family comes first before I do other things. From there, I start organizing what you're doing. Also delegate. You cannot do everything. Have people that you can delegate your work to. As long as everything is continuing, you don't have to be hands-on. But there are things that you can be helped by people. And by that also they get income. You know?
Just that.
And it becomes a good thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being with us on this particular show.
Thank you.
Maybe as your parting shots in terms of depression and people with disability.
Yeah.
If there's someone who's living with disability or someone who's living with someone with disability, what would be your word to them? Maybe in a minute or two.
Wow, thank you. My word would be, don't allow disability to make you disabled.
Okay.
I mean, don't allow depression to increase your disability.
Even the first one.
Even the first one.
Yeah. That was don't allow disability to make you disabled, because
yes, that's what I said. Yes.
Okay. That's
good. Don't allow your disability to make you disabled. And what I will say is that one of the major things that you can succeed as a person living with disability is to become mentally healthy. Is to take care of your mental health. And don't allow anything to stress you. Make sure you are able to cope with. There is a way you can cope with anything that appears as if it's a stressor to you. You be very strong to identify it, and don't give a chance for any form of depression or anxiety to attack you. And also I would say that there are things you may not be able to do the best way you'd want to, but don't feel guilty about it. Don't feel guilty about it. If you're a mother, if you're a father, there are some roles in the family you're not able to do. Don't feel guilty. People don't hate you. People don't have a negative opinion towards you, because a lot of people feel people don't like me, people hate me, people feel I'm a burden. It may not be so. People love those people. You know, people don't have they are not proud against you. Hawakuonyeshi madharau. You know, again, that's also another thing for the perception they think people have towards them that is wrong. And sometimes it's not so. Unakuta mtu anasema huyo siku hizi haniongelee, hataki maneno yangu, ni kama ni juu mimi ni mlemavu. Na hata si hivyo. You know, so let them have that sweet spirit to feel that even people love them. They are good people in this earth. You know, not everyone that is taking advantage of them. There are neighbors that are good. There are people that are praying well for them. You know, programs like these have been customized specifically to let them know that there are people who think well about their health. So I would say that let everyone take care of their mental status. And because, allow me to say, as I finished, there's a time I worked at Madare Hospital for a long time. For a long time.
Oh my God, how was that?
Oh, it was a whole different experience.
I can imagine.
And the sad thing about working in such a hospital, there is nobody that appears sick. Hawapewi panado ama hawapewi antibiotic ama hawapewi. Lakini hao watu ni wagonjwa, lakini wanatembea, wako sawa. Hana hata homa, hana pneumonia, hayuko kwa ward kwa kitanda. Do you know those people are usually... So I was imagining these people, the only thing that is a challenge is just their mental. Wako sawa mpaka huyo mtu anakimbia huko mbio na hana kidoda anadresiwa. Do you know working in the mental hospital is so easy. Hakunanga cabinet ya medication juu hawakuongi wagonjwa. But ni hiyo tu sasa kukaa na kucontain kuona vile watakutoka kwa hiyo. So what my prayer would be, let's take care of our mental status. Don't allow anything to take away your mind. Have a mental you know, akili yako unaifanyia kazi, unakaa ukiangalia. Na ukiona kitu ambayo inakaa kama inataka kukunini, you refuse it and you know, and also seek for help. Look for somebody you can talk to. Most people are dying because they are putting a lot of things inside of themselves and they don't want to open up to anyone. Churches are there to support you. Organizations are there to support you. Like organizations like Better You Foundation listens to people like those. Hope Mobility organization we are partnering with, other organizations in the county, you know, you can always get help. If you enter in a hospital, allow me to say this, if you go to any hospital as a person with disability, useme unataka counselor, you will not be charged. Na utachajiwa in a government hospital.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So mimi ningetaka wajua kwamba hakuna mtu anawanini. Ukitaka kuongea na mtu, you'll always get somebody you can talk to. So mimi ningetaka niweze kuomba watu hao wajiangalie na watu wasaidie tena wasikuwe na hiyo state ya kusikia as if they are getting into
Okay. So seek for help. There's help. There is help. There's plenty of help. So if you're there, you know you need help, seek for help. Maybe our director can just get the numbers on the screen once again and just let you know. If you're there, you need mobility devices like wheelchairs, walking aids, all that. Text that number. Tuambie jina yako. Tell us where you're from. What kind of mobility device that you'd want. Is it a wheelchair? Is it a walking aid?
What and how old are you?
And how old you are. Oh yeah, that's something else. So tell us how old you are. Tell us your name, mahali yuko, and what kind of help that you need. Sawa sawa, and then utakuwa unasaidika.
Sorry to say, let me just, in case somebody would wonder why we're asking the age, is because in case somebody has said is 15 years old, ama 10 years old, tutajua kama amesema kona hii condition, tunajua ni mtoto. Juu zingine unakutanga wheelchair, mtu amesema anataka wheelchair akona disability, lakini unakuta ni tutoto tudogo ama mtu mzima. So but when you get to you are able to gauge and to know. Thank you.
Perfect. So that is it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rev, for coming. We've had a good time. We've learned so much. I personally also learned so much.
Thank you. I'm humbled. I'm humbled, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And I know that you've also learned so much. And this is where I let you know that you can share the link as much as you can, so that other people will be blessed as well, and they'll be able to learn what you have learned. Usijeke tu information, itakuwa ya msaada sana kwa watu wengine. Thank you so much for tuning in. We do value your time greatly. Now, we're winding up, and before we wind up, it's very important for us to get Did You Know? So Did You Know is a segment that comes to jog our minds kidogo. We've talked about very serious stuff, very engaging, very educative stuff. So this is to just jog your mind kidogo and give you something to go research after this. Did you know? So, did you know the fear of long words is called that one there? It's called like that. So you're able to read. No, my director is telling you to read that word. You're nataka ni kwa national television. Hapana, alafu mtumie kama meme. We are not doing that today. The fear of long words is that long word there. Yeah, please write that name. Is it even an actual real name director, surely? Ama ni mambo umetokea hapa. Have you ever seen that bird?
I've never.
But
Hippopotamonstrous equipdariphobia.
I wouldn't even try. I wouldn't even try. But I had, you see, in high school, sijui kama high school zote zilikuwa hivyo, but in a high school, you used to have daughters. Like, ungepewa, if you're in Form 3, you'd be given a Form 2 daughter. Yeah. So I had one of my daughters in high school, was from Rwanda. Was it Rwanda? She had such a long word. Mpaka leo sijawahi shika. So we're not just about to start today trying to learn long words like
you
that.
Have the phobia.
It's a phobia. Yeah, I also have a phobia for long words. That word there. So go research it. Thank you so much for that. So God bless you. God be with you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I know that you've learned something. Once again, we do value your time greatly. Please have an amazing rest of the day. Do take care of yourself. Remember that God loves you so much. We do love you so much. If you have an issue, this is home. We've given our numbers. Feel free to share. We've said there's always help. There's always help. No, we are here because God has put us together so that we'll be here to listen, to help, and also for us to speak out. Sawa sawa. So remember that today, because it's on a Wednesday, we'll be having lunch hours, and our lunch hour today will be starting from 12:30 to 1:30 to 2:30. Sorry, and I know that itakuwa ya baraka sana. Tuko ndani ya prayer festival. So this is where we pray. This is where we get to hear from the Lord. This is where we get to dwell in the presence of the Lord. So do not miss out if you're in Nakuru. Karibu sana. God bless you. God be with you. Have an amazing rest of the day. For Afya Clinic, I'll see you next week on Wednesday. Bye-bye.